How's it going, everyone? My name is Rick Ramirez. I'm also known as Rick's Two Cents. Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything,
Well,
Roger from Roger Shop,
And currently in Mexico right now, but unfortunately I'll be back home next week. Back in Illinois, where it's
and
cold.
a special guest with us today. Mia, do you want to do a quick introduction, please?
Hi, I am Mia from Chicago, the owner of Perfection Selection, and I'm pretty much a crafter. And I'm just excited to be here, my very first podcast.
Nice one, nice one. Mia, the reason I reached out to you is because um, 3D printers, I always say, is kind of like and I say this as a noob because I'm just now getting a 3D printer because I have two very influential bad friends, Steve and Roger. Well,
Yeah.
but say I call it the lazy man way to make a living. The way I say that is that you don't have to babysit as much, right? If you have a laser, you should really be paying attention. You have a CNC, you should probably really be paying attention. A 3D printer, you can probably really set it and forget it, kind of walk away and do something else, right? You don't really have
Absolutely.
to watch over it.
Yeah, I would agree. But
But
sometimes it can, if you walk away. But you always have your phone. Well, with the
yes,
bamboo, I know you can see and watch it, check in periodically. So yeah,
yes. So I think the good thing about a 3D printer is there's definitely a good library of files that you could download and really hit the ground running and start printing, right? What Maker's Place and things like that. Um, and using a 3D printer and learning a skill set to create CAD files is a whole different skill set in itself. And the reason I found you, or how I first found you, was the files you create. Definitely extremely impressive. Not that I won't say I was impressed with your prints, but anyone can download somebody else's file and print it. But to create your own original stuff, that's a whole different story in itself. So, can I ask like how you got started in that? And I know Roger always says like Tinkercad and things like that was learning blocks to first learn that. How did you get into that? And if you don't mind sharing what software you're using and kind of the background on that.
well, like Roger says, I use Tinkercad as well. So
Okay.
I can give you the whole rundown of the whole 3D printing. So I actually purchased a 3D printer last year in February around Valentine's Day. And I can honestly say I have never really used my 3D printer up until about maybe the last week in December, or maybe the two weeks last in December. So the thing is, I have ADHD and I'm very impatient and I love instant gratification. So I wasn't using my 3D printer like that because I just feel like if I upload something in the machine, I want it done in 5 seconds. So when I start seeing an hour, 2 hours, I'm like, look, I can't do this. So
Yeah.
I printed a few things when I first got it, and then I still shoved it away. But as I kept growing and like learning, like, okay, when I originally first started, I went on YouTube, found the videos on how to upload things in Tinkercad. So I locked that in my mind. I didn't lose it. And as the year went by, like I did a couple of little things around Halloween. I made the bone purse. And then
Okay.
after that, I still wasn't really using it because, again, everything takes too long. So I decided to download now that's not my file, but I downloaded the bear chain or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Because my mom was like, make me a bear chain. So I made her one. And then I was like, okay, okay. I waited 7 hours for this, so I'm sure I can start waiting 7 hours for any other thing. Now, see, the way my mind is and operates, it kind of memorized some things that it want to memorize. And so I used to do bringing 3D worlds into the Oculus some years ago back in 2020. So I used to use a app called Unity. So some of that stuff is kind of the same when it's the planes and turning and all of that, the XYZs and all of that. So I kind of memorized some of the things from that. But as I started doing the bear chains, I'm like, okay, well now I want to make a chain with my logo on it. So I pretty much figured out a way to get the Cuban chain. Once I got the Cuban chain, that's when I started making my stuff from scratch. So I knew Tinkercad is SVG. I'm like, okay, well, if I bring in an SVG of my business, which is pretty much the name, I can bring it into Tinkercad. Then I'm like, okay, well, now I need a background for my business name. So then I ended up saying, how can I turn the outline into SVG? So I went a long step, went through Cricut, screenshotted the outline of it, took it back to somewhere else to SVG and brung it into Tinkercad. Then brung all of those STLs over to Bamboo. And I was like, oh, well, then that's pretty much simple. So then when it wasn't merging together, I didn't know you had to merge everything together. So I kept on getting some type of error. And of course, I do use AI. I know it's people that doesn't agree with AI due to the water and all of that. But I did ask AI, I'm like, okay, why is my project instead of getting this error? I sent the picture to him. He told me, oh, you have to pretty much merge it. I clicked merge and boom. It was so simple like that. And then there was a lot of people that's like, I really wanted to make my own chain. I want to customize. I see that all the time. And then when I had posted mine, it was like, how did you do that? How did you do this? So I just finally decided to say, hey, I'll let everybody know how you go ahead and do that. But that's pretty much the only thing I really make. Is like I say, I just got into my 3D printer. I want to
No,
say about it's probably been about 3 months, 3 weeks now.
I think it's important. We always say fall forward, right? Because like lesson learns, learn from your mistakes, and don't feel bad to challenge yourself. And I think it's what you did kind of is what a lot of people do when they get frustrated, they walk away. But sometimes people don't come back though, but you came back to it, and definitely I feel the same. That when you print something, like I'm printing something right now, it said 17 hours. I'm like, man, and I remember when I first got my laser, I'd stand above it watching it work. And at first, when you get to see it's this 3D printer, you do that, and it's like you can't do that because it's
Right.
Yeah.
just take.
It's a good thing you don't have to watch them because you'd fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. But Roger, I watched Roger since we've done this live. His background is normally a whole slew of 3D printers, but if you go and start watching these lives, and you watch the background just like slowly upgrade, if you don't want to get in the 3D printer and that's not inspiring, then nothing is going to be inspiring because you definitely upgraded your setup, like for sure.
Yeah, well, when I first started out, I had all what I call bed slingers. They were mostly Creality printers, and a Kitty and a couple other ones, but they would be in the background, and sometimes they'd be running, and everybody would hear them. Now I have everything is Core XY, with the exception of two. But I have 12 3D printers, and when I'm home, they're all running pretty much 24/7.
So the one thing I always say too is that when we choose to do these side hustle type things, that a lot of times that may not always go at all on what you do full time. Raj and I are in the power space, right? Steve's in the software development, so maybe. But Raj and I, we're not really. This is not our realm, so to speak, right? I remember one time when when we started doing these lives, I got an email from an attorney, and that's right at the time that all these influencers were getting sued, and I thought, great. And it was the attorney who watched our podcast and was asking questions about one of my lasers, the diode laser. So do you mind sharing what your full-time gig is and what you're doing now? Is this aspire to just earn extra income, maybe replace your full-time gig, or just maybe just something you're doing to stress relief type thing?
For me, this is actually my full-time job now.
Nice.
So I was working for a company last year. I was working in the solar division. I was well, pretty much I just scheduled the service workers for the solar system
Okay.
on people's homes. And then they ended up laying us off on Valentine's Day. So they didn't really love us. So, but the crazy thing is, like, I was kind of excited when it happened. They had ended up putting us all in a video chat that January and letting us know like, oh, you guys only have 2 more weeks left. We pretty much letting you go. And I'm like, huh? Where that come from? So the crazy part is I was always saying like I really want to work on my business full time because like I said, it's a lot of things I do besides just 3D printing. So during that time I think I was making money bootcamp. So I'm like, I kind of want to do my own business full time. I'm tired of working for other people. And then it's like I'm putting my stuff on the back burner. And I also have a young child. So it's like I'm going to work, even though I was working from home. I'm working from home. Then I have him. And then, of course, when I'm getting off of work, I got to go work on people orders. So I start getting mom guilt. So it's like, okay, something got to give. So luckily, they ended up laying us off. And I just took it as a blessing. And I was like, my biggest fear was always just quitting and going and doing my full time. But I just took it as a sign, like, hey, there's
A
my
leap
sign
of
right
faith.
now. And
A leap of faith.
I can honestly say I've been doing pretty good for the past February 14th will be a year that I have
Okay.
been employed.
Cool.
Nice one. You know, I mentioned I'm asking these questions because it's that time of year. Literally, what we're saying, tax season. A lot of people they take their tax money and they're gonna, you know, it's probably the only we all live check to check, right? No matter at the end of the day what income bracket you are, most of us live check to check, right? So tax time is
I
probably
w-
about the time that they have a lump sum that they can invest, right? And people are looking to do something. Go ahead, Roger. You can say something.
I wish I could get a check. I pay every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, tax times a lot of times people they're looking to invest either because they need to write something off, or they're getting a tax return. They're looking to invest. So a lot of people come new to these side hustles at this time of year, and they're looking. And the one thing, we always say we're not pumping dumps. There's no easy button. Like every piece of equipment we review, it worked perfect. Everything we made, it worked perfect. Everything we made, it comes perfect. We all share fails. Yeah. So yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. Phone kicked me.
Yeah, we had a whole episode on one of our podcasts there of failures, and we've all had them.
So almost time to do another one.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I
I've had a lot
wasn't
of
shy
failures
of
since that last one.
I wasn't shy about showing them. I mean, it happens. That's just the way it is in this business.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna
how
grab
I
some.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say how I ended up acquiring all of my printers were when I was working at the solar company. I originally started with just the it was the 8550 because I originally had a Cricut machine and I had another small sublimation printer. That one got clogged, and then I'm like, okay, well, I want another sublimation printer, so I ended up getting a Epson 15,000. Then I ended up getting an 8550 as my regular printer. Then I ended up buying another 8550 as trying to convert it to a DTF. That failed, so I ended up selling it within 2 weeks. I said, I don't have time to babysit no daggone DTF. Really don't. So,
Well, I will say I've got two Epson 15,000s that I use for sublimation,
okay.
Yeah, I have an Epson
Uh,
570 for sublimation, and I have.
and
Go
I
ahead.
used to do the Sawgrass SG 1000, but they got so stupid expensive with their ink, I just dropped them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me grab some of these comments here in the chat.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff in the chat here. So.
Chris says, "Good day." Hey, Chris, thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Tim says, "You guys are early." A lot of people jump into live early, just kind of chatting it up, checking in first. They want to make sure they get their shines in the comments. So, as just in case there's some new people joining the lives, I just want to share the reason we read these comments is because these comments are coming from all different social media accounts, mine, Roger, Steve's, and also there's a lot of people who don't watch the podcast. They may be working, driving, and they are listening. So the reason we read the comments is so that they can participate. And then if they choose to, they can grab their phone and kind of chime in, and some do.
Just be safe, y'all. If you drive.
Yes. Clack is very good for that. We just say his name once in a while, Clack twice. And he's like,
Yeah,
I dreamed of Jeannie. How did she say that? She'd show up.
Hey, you said clack once or twice, he'll be in there.
Yeah. You say his name 3 times.
There you go.
Kind of like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Fish Lake, Indiana in the house. Hello, hello. Tim says, how are you enjoying your hot summer down there? I thought he was talking to you, Roger. But
He's asking. No, he's asking Chris in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in Mexico, where, of course, today was a little cool. It was only 74 degrees, but otherwise it's been in the mid 80s every day.
Chris had actually just ended a hot streak down to the high 30s.
Back down.
That's centigrade, of course. But.
Yeah.
Laser Sand and Graven. Hello, everyone. Hey. All right, we got a question. Roger, you want to take this?
Okay, let me ask this before they get started. I'm working on my first video for the year. What software are you guys using to put your YouTube videos together? You using CapCut? I use DaVinci Resolve.
As do I.
And because I know how to use it. I mean, I just know the software.
Yeah. Do you use the free version or did you buy it?
Oh, I bought it.
Yeah, me too.
I bought it.
I don't use it came with a little desktop controller with a big knob on it and stuff. I don't use that though.
Oh, I don't either.
Nah, it's more for the cut view, not the edit view. And
yeah,
I spend all my time in the edit view.
I use CapCut for TikTok only. I take a bunch of pictures or shorts to create a short. Otherwise, Adobe Premiere is my go-to. What about you, Mia? Oh, then she's stepping away a second.
She's gone.
What is this?
Yeah, just so you know, Santa, you can download a free version of DaVinci Resolve that does virtually everything you're ever going to want to do if you're just doing simple videos. What it won't do is things like if you want to build like an animated logo or something, you really can't do that with the free version. But regular video editing, it's fine and it's free.
The only thing I didn't like is that Adobe used to be able to spend like $1,100, $1,200 and you owned it, right?
Yeah.
And now it's purely a license.
Subscription, and I don't like that. It's the same thing that QuickBooks did. That irritates the hell out of me. Because I always just bought the version of QuickBooks, had everything on my computer. Well, now it's all going to be in the cloud, and
yeah. See, that was one of the reasons why DaVinci took off, right? Because there's a fully functional free version, and there's a paid version. But the paid version, I mean, DaVinci gets used by like Hollywood studios and stuff, right? And all the special effects studios, they all use DaVinci. And so they probably make enough money off of those guys that, you know, the odd YouTuber that uses it doesn't really have to pay too much. I think it was like $300 or $400 or something for the paid version, like, and it's a lifetime thing. Like you just get updates.
Yeah, right? I think it was $350 when I bought it.
Yeah,
I think I pay like $85 a month
for
Adobe Suite.
Oh, so you use Adobe?
Yeah.
Oh, switch to Resolve, man. It's first of all, it's better and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And there's a million tutorial channels for DaVinci.
Yeah, so Adobe, I have the Adobe Suite, so it's every single app that Adobe makes.
Yeah.
But it's expensive, man.
Yeah, it's the one reason I don't own a single Adobe product is their stupid monthly license thing.
Yeah.
I pretty much do.
Harold said hello from how do you say this again?
Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie.
New York, a regular, and I still mess it up. Jack in the shop said I used to use, what is this?
Caden Live
for years. You guys ever use this?
Never heard of it.
Not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Mia keeps disappearing. Mia, you've got a little voodoo thing going on there.
Let's see here. Jack said it's not hard, but I have a lot of features, ton of YouTube videos on it.
Yeah. Mia, we lost your audio.
Yeah, I had muted.
There, you're back.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
woodworking,
it's whatever you get used to, right? And you kind of hug it like it's the last tree in the forest until you have to change. And like
You know,
Apple just recently, a lot of people use Apple's video editing tool, and they just recently packaged all of that stuff up, their Office suite and video editing and a bunch of other things into Apple developers workspace or something, development workspace, creative workspace. That's what it is. And they charge for it now. It's
Yeah.
like things that they used to give you for free, they now charge for.
Well, my originally reason I bought the MacBook Pro, it's like 5 years old now, is because Adobe, when I started doing 7.4 or 8K export on a Windows computer, would just crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Mac, I mean, it
Well,
sounds like a
the difference is, like, if you were running it on a Windows machine that didn't have a GPU, like if you just had a regular old video card, you wouldn't have enough horsepower, and it was
Oh,
probably
yeah,
dying.
absolutely not.
Like DaVinci too, right? You need if you don't have a Mac, you need a PC with a GPU in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you could use the RAM on the video card.
the computer I run my DaVinci on at home has got a real high-end, oh, now I can't think of the name,
What,
but it's got a
NVIDIA?
real high-end NVIDIA card,
Yep.
real high-end one. I mean, it was like $600.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They are
so
cheap.
I want to do the last upgrade, the new Mac OS update, and it said I guess I can't get it,
Oh,
so I have to buy a new.
oh,
that's it.
how well? What do you have an Intel processor in your machine?
I don't think so. No. I would have that blue logo thing on it.
It can't be an M1. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'd be able to update.
I went to update it and it said it wouldn't let me update for some reason.
Maybe you didn't have enough disk space or something.
Well, most of my laptops will also run DaVinci, just not quite as fast. The one I'm on tonight has got a Ryzen 7 processor on it. It's a gaming laptop.
Yeah,
And my other ones are Gigabit and Asus, and
I
they're
do all of my editing on this machine that I use here. It's a Mac Studio Pro, which is like a supercomputer. Like the thing is crazy fast.
Nice. Yeah, so I want the new MacBook Pro, the version of mine now. But I think it's like over $9,000. Man.
I think
What is
I got
this?
It's all those tariffs, man.
Python computer.
$9,000.
get a sponsor.
Yeah,
Come on, Mac.
Get
Come on.
Apple as a sponsor. The only
Yeah.
time I did any work with Apple, they sent me a couple of Blade machines, like rack mounts. They made a server, the Mac server, at one point, and they sent me a couple of those. And I kept them for about a year, and then they said we need them back. It's
What?
like, what?
That's hilarious.
Well, I knew they were. They said they were going to ask for them back, but they didn't for a long time, and I thought they forgot about them. No.
David said, "Good evening from South Milwaukee."
Cold up there.
It's
So,
cold
Harold?
everywhere in North America. This
No.
week. Hey, Harold.
Jack in the Shop said, "Yeah, DaVinci Resolver is another great free option, but it's a bit more advanced."
It's a serious tool, yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
have to use all the features in it. I mean, at the end of the day, they all have the same thing. You can drop multiple tracks, and you can, cut and trim and move things around, and they all do pretty much the same thing now. So.
And you can make yourself appear and dissolve and everything if you want. Do special effects and you get into Fusion. There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, yeah,
don't
I wouldn't say for somebody who just wants to edit videos to start playing with Fusion in DaVinci.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a little more advanced. Actually, I don't think you can use Fusion in the free version. I don't think it's there.
I don't honestly
I don't
use any
know.
of those fancy stuff like that. For my editing is just purely editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mostly it's audio cleanup, to be honest.
Yeah, so in DaVinci, one of the things they've added recently is, well, not real recently, but over the last year or so, is you can grab an audio channel, an audio track, and you can say, make this tune this for YouTube,
Yes.
and you don't have to worry about what the high and low volume range is or any of that kind of stuff. You just say go, and a minute later your track is processed. And
Yeah, Adobe actually monitors our voice, and it says our voices are on an F,
yeah,
and it auto does our voices differently. And it's crazy just the way it detects my voice versus your guys' voice. And as it starts knowing who you are, its AI features is kind of wild.
yeah. One of the coolest things they've added into DaVinci now is if I say, like, if in a video, if I say 100 and I meant to say 200, I can actually go in and select that piece, the 100, and I can just type 200 and it will use my voice to reprocess it.
Well,
Yeah, that's one of the nice things, is once in a while I will mispronounce or give the wrong number, or, yeah,
it's usually when it's a wrong statistic or something.
yeah.
Rather than record a whole bunch of audio, I can just say, go change this 100 to a 200, and then I can just put a graphic up for 200 instead.
So I think Chris is referring to what Mia said. The more jobs fail when you're away than when you're there, like with the 3D printer. Monitoring with an app definitely helps, But man,
well, I never did show that big block of PLA that I pulled from my Bamboo H2D.
I got something I can show. Let me go grab
it. Bring it. I mean, it looked like if you were like a an anthropologist and you dug up this big rock and you chopped it in half and you went, oh, there's a bone in there. This was how my printer was.
What do you think of this, guys?
Yeah. There's a misprint.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and then I tried it again.
What were you making?
Did it fall off the build plate?
No. So you know what this looks like to me? When you put PETG and PLA together, PLA will like almost like oil and water, like it doesn't like connect. It'll like reject itself, right? So Micro Center is local to Roger and I. So everyone's been telling me that they've been having a lot of problems with it. But a lot of the people who are complaining, it's because they bought it for their kids or for Christmas. And Micro Center is local, so you can walk in the store and buy it. But some people who are more familiar with 3D printing are saying, well, the reason is because the Micro Center filament, if you test it, is over 30% humidity, so you have to really, really dry it out. So I actually went and bought a Sunlu, thanks to Roger, filament dryer. It's the 4 unit that dries it. Mm-hmm. I got it all the way down, and I bought their PETG Plus and the regular PETG. I used the default PETG Bamboo Lab settings, and I used their settings. The same exact results. So I took this out. I put a Bamboo Lab with the same exact file, a Creality with the same exact file, printed amazing. So even after this was dried.
So I ran into a problem with bamboo filament this week. I bought 2 rolls of PLA, matte PLA gray. And on both printers, I thought it was maybe the H2C was doing something funny. So I put the other roll in my H2D, and the colors weren't uniform. I don't think I can show it, but
can y'all give me?
It may be subtle enough that you can't see it, but see all these lines here?
Hold on.
See different colors? Like there? You may not be able to see it, but it's like this roll of filament is just terrible. The 2 rolls, and they're both gray. And I'm gonna have a conversation with
so I was thinking actually emailing Micro Center and say, when I went there, I thought, okay, good, these are bed slingers, kids 3D printers, people are buying for their kids, and I'm seeing all this chatter on the Facebook groups, Maybe they don't know what they're doing. They're not drying it. It's an open unit. You know, they don't have an AMS unit to dry it. So, of course, the people who are familiar with printers are just telling them, you need to dry it, you need to dry it, you need to dry it. So I said, I'm going to try it. 20-minute drive from my house, picked it up. So I'm actually going to email Micro Center and say, look, these are the settings I use. These are the settings you recommended, and these are the results I got. What do you suggest? And see what they say. Because I just find it hard to believe that they have literally like 15 rolls of filament. When I mean rows, I mean like 75 feet rows, and they're all bad. Like they gotta.
Yeah. Well, I had a roll of just some no-name discount PLA, and I ended up throwing it away because it was just terrible.
Yeah.
I've had that experience with the Amazon Basics filament.
Well, yeah, this wasn't Amazon Basics, but it was some, you know, discount no name thing, and the layers wouldn't stick together, which is probably what you're seeing there.
Yes, exactly what it is.
So try raising the temperature.
So Mia, what 3D printer do you have?
I had a Bamboo P1S combo.
Okay.
So that's a good printer.
Yeah.
Within within a week, I had ended up buying 2 more. So I went from never using a printer at all to buying 2 in 1 week.
Wow, that's a pretty slippery slope.
Yeah. In the Bamboo line, I have 12 of them. So yeah.
So I have the H2D Pro, and of course Steve has been rubbing in my nose that he's got the new what is it,
H2C. Well, Roger has
H2C.
Yeah, I got the H2C. You had to have one, and I bought it. They didn't give it to me. Not like Steve, who they gave him one.
They didn't. Well, they called me and said, "Do you want one?" It's like I'm not going to say no.
He's like, I've been waiting for Crowley to call. You're gonna.
I do have to do like 12 or 15 hours of work to just because they sent it. So it's not technically free, but
it's crazy how much cheaper it is though. It's $2,300 at Micro Center. That's with the AMS and everything. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Maybe they're buying refurbs.
No, they're brand new.
Really?
Yeah.
So with the new one, I know someone was looking for one at Best Buy, and he was saying something about like it has a laser on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have not convinced myself that putting a laser inside a 3D printer is a good idea.
No, that's just bad. That's just
so
lasers are dirty things.
We say this all the time, that you can buy the best CNC, you can buy the best laser, you can buy the best 3D printer. Whenever you buy any type of multi-tools, most of the time, it's not the best of either, right?
Yeah. Well, I just like if you cut a whole bunch of things with the laser and then you try and print something, you're gonna have to clean the inside of that printer completely.
Yes. Yeah.
I have an Tech Polar laser, and I legit only have used it one time. I'm scared of it. I don't know why. I bought that in February of last year. And the only reason I used it that one time because someone swore that I told them I can engrave a Stanley cup. And I'm like, I don't recall ever telling you that because I have never used my machine. So I ended up trying to figure it out, ended up figuring it out. But what I should have did was did multiple passes, which I knew nothing about. So I was going to end up doing another cup and never did it. I think I ended up getting scared again and just backed away from it.
Well, then you need to talk to Roger because Roger does a whole slew of cups, sublimation, laser engraving. He is he's in competition with Steve because Steve loves making coasters.
I do not.
Coasters and cups, you know, they're like head to head, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I do. If I can get this, I do tumblers and sublimation. Of course, this one's got my name on it. And by the way, it's got nutrition information on the back. If you want to read that, get in there. So you got oak barrel, confidence, inhibitions, slurred speech, and pirate. And you've got the percentages right there, right next to it. And this is one of the most popular things course, Captain Morgan on this one, but the ones we sell, I can't put the Captain Morgan thing on. I'll just say may contain rum.
Someone said is
all
Roger
the fun.
streaming? That's him.
Yeah, and and by the way, this does have rum in it tonight, and it is Captain Morgan.
I think when I saw this Roger question pop up in the feed, Roger was very still.
That just wasn't moving. Hello from Waverly, Iowa. Hello.
Close
Now,
to where I live back home.
Nice, Sam.
Hey, Jim.
I was gonna say now I have been using my 3D printer to make tumbler sleeves. Those are pretty cool. I didn't bring one down. I should go get it, but that's kind of cool. So what I did yesterday was, well, I printed it the day before yesterday. It took 10 hours. Only because I added work to the basketball. If I would have just did the basketball, it would have only been 4 hours. But since I added like class of 2026 and added their name and their jersey number on it, it made it increase to 10 hours. And that kind of came out nice. And then what I do is sublimate pictures around the little part that's left on the tabula. And now I have the epoxy, which is I'm waiting on the epoxy to come. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Nice one.
Another how do you say Chicagoan? Chicagoan?
Chicago, yeah, there you go.
Jim says hi. Jim, you've been quiet this week. I haven't heard from you.
Jack said, I like DaVinci better because it just works on everything.
Oh, that's KDN Live.
KDN Live. Yeah.
I've never worked with that. I have no idea.
Chicago bang bang.
Well, that can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's always gonna be that way, and it's never gonna change. If you're not tough, don't come here. Stay away. Jack in the shop said, "This is what I use on my Linux machines, but it works on Windows too." Yeah.
Yeah, if you're running Linux, there's not a lot of options.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says I don't have many things to print.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, me too.
Tim said, "Did Ricky do the Ethernet upgrade?" So I did some experimenting tonight. On the other side of my shop here is the 3D printers and 3D printer, and on the other side is the CNCs. But on that side of the basement area, all above me is my ductwork for my HVAC. So I was thinking, when I filmed over here, I didn't have any problem. And I ran a speed test and I had no problem. So I sat over here with the lasers behind me, and guess what? No problem. So I think it's just a ductwork. So if I want to sit over there, I'm going to have to run Cat 5. Or 8. Yeah, but I have a ton of Cat 5. Cat 6 probably, I think.
Well, you can squeeze a gigabit out of Cat 6.
Yeah.
So Santa's saying I printed another spool holding rack as we sit here. I did a big one here not too long ago for a bunch of spools. I think I've got it on one of my videos.
I have storage for probably 40 spools now, and I figure if I have more than that, I have too many spools.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to print something for myself, but I've been so busy printing nonstop for everyone else. I just want to print the stands for the AMS Pros because they're like crooked, lopsided on the angle on the side of my.
So you know how to fix this problem?
What's that?
Buy another H2D. Or maybe
One's
an
for me, the other one's for someone else.
Buy another H2C.
I think that's
I'm not even lying. When I saw that Micro Center $2,300, I'm like, I gotta get out of here, man. I was thinking, well, you know,
you didn't really need the Pro. You didn't have to buy the Pro version.
Well, my H2C, I have 2 AMSs and then the XD, and I still have not taken the second AMS out of the box yet because I don't have a good place to put it.
Yeah.
Put it on the left side.
Well, the problem is I don't have room on the left or right side.
I don't like the one they put them on top and it's too wide. I don't know.
I have mine sitting on top.
You on top?
Hmm.
Do you have one AMS or two AMSs?
Well, I have one AMS for each machine.
Okay, okay. Yeah, just when it's two AMSs on one machine, it just looks like an accident waiting to happen because it's kind of sticking off too far. It's kind of
Yeah.
like
Stack them. Well, yeah, you can just make a little wooden thing, cut some 3/4 inch plywood, and just put a box there.
yeah.
Or I could
Fair
send
enough.
you the Fusion plan. Oh, you don't have Fusion, right? You don't run Fusion 360,
Uh,
3D CAD.
no, no.
I could just send you the file, and you could make the cabinet that I made.
Yeah, no. I got confused with the software we bought for the CNC, but that's not Fusion. That's
VCarve.
yeah. Tim says I have to do extra. I have to do it for extra income to pay off some stuff. Steve keeps demonstrating.
Sorry, Tim.
It's like you're working for the habit. You're working for the habit.
I do have that. I do have that Anycubic Photon P1 sitting on my workbench right now. If you are interested.
San Jose and Grid said he must finally got the cable. Too funny.
Nope, he didn't get the cable. He got rid of all the shielding.
Yeah. You know, my wife. I had to explain to her. So when I first got the printer, you have to buy a filament, right? So I bought like $300 in filament 3 times, and she says you're not making any money because every dime you make, you just put it right back into the machine. And I said, well, you can't tell somebody you're gonna have 3D print like, oh yeah, you want gray or black? What? No. Oh, you want white? Like, no, I want like this picture. I got gray or black. Which one do you want?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah, exactly. And at least then it wasn't out of my pocket, so to speak, because it was kind of paying for itself. And now I literally have every color there is, or at least the bamboo sells. But I just wish bamboo would stay in stock.
They have a lot of colors now.
I have all the PET Gs.
My problem is I'm having a problem getting the color orange. And I think that's because of Clack. I think Clack buys it all up from everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's because
I got all kinds of orange.
It's because the Bears been kicking butt.
Buy the Sunlu orange. It's almost the same color, and it works. It actually, I like Sun. I gotta say, and hopefully Bamboo's not listening. I like Sunlu's filament better than Bamboo's.
Actually, Sunlu makes Bamboo's filament.
They must have it on a cheaper line though when they make the bamboo stuff because of this problem I had, right? Like it's terrible.
Yeah, because I just asked that when I saw Sunlu's filament on Amazon, because I was getting ready to order red Creality because Bamboo doesn't have any. Sunlu, they have every color in glow in the dark, and Ricky saw that and was like, oh.
There you go. Now he wants one of those gangster chains in glow in the dark, right?
No, you know what? The boy's gonna be a lineman. You know what he wants? He wants to make his own electrical receptacle covers. He wants glow in the dark and things.
There you go.
Hey, there's actually a thing in this file you could download for outlet covers.
I was going to say, you know how to fix that problem? Buy a UV printer.
Yeah.
And then you can just go to the hardware store and buy like 50-cent plate covers and print on them.
Yeah, no kidding, right? It'll probably take 5 hours to print that plate cover.
So Mia, I have a question for you. With your 3D printing stuff, what are you selling as your side hustle of 3D printers?
Right now I've been doing the 3D sleeves and I was doing the chain. We're not going to mention which chain, but I was doing a lot of heavy selling with the chains. That's how I ended up getting a 3 because, like Rick was saying, how you print stuff for other people, but then now you want to print something for yourself. So I'm like, okay, well now I need a printer so I can print stuff for myself, but then I need another printer to still print stuff for other people. So
it's a vicious circle.
Yeah,
it definitely seems like anyone who makes it become an income. The single was a gateway drug, right? And to be able to actually print fast enough to make money, to make it a good source of income, you got to have more than one, right?
Mm-hmm. So I haven't made it to that point where I'm just constantly making stuff repeatedly because for the past 2 days, all 3 of them said I haven't even printed anything. but I haven't made it to that point yet of really promoting because I still haven't really seen all the things that I could really make with it. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I haven't got into the aspect of building yet. Like I peep things and I look at things and I'm like, oh, I can probably do that once I go on Tinkercad. But have I sat down and actually did it? No, not for the past couple of days because I do work out my basement and it's been freezing and we don't have a really great insulated basement. And one heater doesn't cut it because it's a huge basement. So I've kind of just been like off to the side and upstairs, not really doing anything. But I plan on seeing all the things. I've been kind of keeping out different Etsy's and see what everybody's selling for 3Ds. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to start advertising on my Etsy as well as my regular web.
So remember, everyone, Valentine's Day is our next big seller. So no matter what niche you're in, I don't care what niche you're. My niche is memorial stuff. That is probably the worst holiday for someone who's mourning someone, right? I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon for sure. So those big holidays like that, Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. You gotta jump on those. But they're short shelf lives, right? So
just
kind of like
put all the leftovers in a box till next year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I've
Yeah,
already
this
made
year-
a somewhat of a memorial for my late wife. And me, I know you don't know this, but my wife passed away in December of 30 years. So I've already made a kind of memorial Valentine's Day thing for her has a picture of the two of us and one of the beaches down here in Mexico. And it sits up next to her container where her ashes are in the mantle of her fireplace.
Very cool.
My condolences
cool.
goes to you. And I'm a baby, so you almost got me to cry. And I didn't even know her.
Uh,
Yeah.
A lot of people been asking me
1940s.
about Valentine's Day, and I've just been like, I really haven't gotten into like last year I did a lot for Valentine's Day, but this year I've been kind of shying away only because I ordered a DTF printer, a commercial one. So
Okay.
it's like I know I have a feeling it's gonna end up coming within this week or maybe the next week. Somewhere I feel like it's gonna come within the next 3 weeks, which is almost around the time of Valentine's Day. And you know how when you get a new machine, you only want to play with that. You don't want to work
oh,
on
sure.
somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really want to take any Valentine's Day. I want the money, but I really don't want to do it. So what I'm looking into doing is maybe just doing the room decorations this year. That's something quick. I can just go decorate the room, come back home, and that's it. I don't want to craft anything right now. But I'm excited about that. So it's like I don't want to take orders for real because I know how I'm gonna get when the machine get here. I'm not gonna want to talk to anybody. I just want to work on my machine. Leave me alone.
I just found out I'm on storm duty for Valentine's Day.
You said it's a storm coming.
Storm duty.
Oh,
So, and normally we're only on storm duty once a year, and I guess I'm on twice. So, like, man.
they saying
Yeah.
Take your wife with you on a road trip.
I like this. I like this comment here. 3 Illinoisans and a Canadian. Interesting dynamics. The only difference is this Illinoisan is in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, right now.
Yeah, Mr. Part-Time Mexican over there. I'm a little jealous,
Yeah.
to be honest. Seems to work
Hey.
though, 101 shows.
Well, we'll say one thing, Rick. Right now, because of where I've been, I'm as dark as you are. So
Yeah.
just got to watch out for ice when I get home.
Where I live, it was a dark 2 hours ago, so 3 hours ago.
Chris said finding out what it failed is challenging. I enjoy it. Absolutely. That's like I told you, man. This is like, I just wanted to try it because this is the way I thought about it. If I bought a Christmas gift for my son, and I was so excited to give it to him, and he printed something, and this is how it came out, I'd just be kind of heartbroken and felt like, man, I'd be beating my head against the wall to prove to him that he could get it to work, So I get these people on Facebook like, man, it's literally dropping all over my keyboard. What am I doing wrong? And I don't think they're doing anything wrong at all.
Did you tried a different roll of filament, right?
Yes.
And it did the same thing?
Yes.
Does it need supports or something?
Well, I tell you what. Hold on. I removed that same exact filament. I put a Crowdy in. Printed perfect. Bamboo.
Okay. So it's a bad roll of filament. Toss it.
Well, I bought 4 standard PET Gs and 4 PET G pluses, and I tried 2 different PET G pluses and 2 different PET Gs. Same.
Yeah, she's got crap filament, and I've run into that before with, especially with what they call the Amazon Basics, and I won't buy that again.
Yeah, I don't even think they have Amazon Basics filament anymore. I haven't seen it in a while.
All over my whole keyboard now. But yeah, but it's like, I just got to think like I would just hope that they wouldn't be selling that volume of it, and it sucks that bad. Unless I literally got a bad batch or something.
Yeah, but so the thing I noticed, so this roll of filament that I had that where the layer adhesion wasn't good, on a cheap 3D printer, that printed fine.
Really?
And I don't know why. Maybe it's like, if you ran diesel in an F1 car, it probably would run pretty bad, right? But it'll work fine in an old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So Chris is saying here, finding out why it failed is a challenge I enjoy. And yes, it is. If you have a failure, you need to figure out what happened and why.
Failure analysis.
Yeah.
You spent a good chunk of my career doing some of that.
Here you go, Mia. You can take this one.
Oh, Zenteno.
The failure rate is too high for me. Like, what part are you failing in with the sublimation? To me, that's the easiest one.
Yeah, I have my failure rate, unless I do something stupid like I print a mug upside down. And I've done that.
Don't mirror your image if you don't have it automatically mirrors. Now that's where I usually mess up, because I definitely did that with, I can show you the cup now.
Yeah, for sublimation, the only real failure you could have is the heater, right?
So correct on there, but
yeah,
in real life.
Yeah, forget the mirror it. Yeah, I've done that before.
So I would say this though, like, to make full wraps that are seamless without seeing the line, there's still an art to that, right? Like, you guys are like, I've done a million of these. There's a method to your madness. The way you're heating it, what you're using. Some people are using convection ovens. Some people are using actual mug presses. Everyone has a different method to their madness, but you figured that out. So even if Roger said, I do this, here's all my settings. Mia said, I do this, here's all my settings. You still need to figure it out, right? So, like, that's just somewhere to start. And we say that all the time. And unfortunately, with sublimation, you can have a lot of ghosting and things like that. And you got to get the method to your madness.
Yeah, well, the heaters too, right? The mug press. There's no two of them are the same. I've noticed.
Right.
Like,
my biggest thing,
the same model from the same manufacturer, and they'll act pretty differently.
Yeah.
When you get into you want to do something seamless, it's not so much how you put it on there, it's how you trim it. You got to have the right design, the right trim, and for example, this one here is absolutely seamless. You wouldn't see no seam on this anywhere. But I set it to where the seam would be in white space. But another one's where you have a full pattern all the way around. You have to be able to match that pattern when you're doing your actual wrap.
The other thing is, I noticed between the orange tape and the blue tape, the orange tape, I got marks. So I used blue tapes that I never had marks. I had the orange actually leave marks. Have you guys ever had that? And it was
Orange,
just the
like
Amazon generic
tape, like the plastic.
Yeah, the
it's the heat tape.
Kapton.
Yeah. So I used blue and never ever had that problem again.
I've used the blue and the brown mostly. I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go through a roll of blue tape in less than a month in my shop. I use it for everything.
Yeah.
Well, my dispenser has 3 rolls of blue tape on it, and it pops it out in little 1-inch long strips. So
yeah, I could probably use something like that.
Her picture came out blurry. Yeah, but you
Yeah,
see,
Yeah.
as third, yeah, I have those. But what I do to usually fix that, I don't think I didn't do what I normally do, which is spray the fabric. What is it like? Fabric binder, bonding fabric, the little glue type stuff. Adhesive. That's what I'm looking for. Fabric adhesive. I don't think I sprayed it on there, and yeah, ended up coming out really blurry. Now those are the mistakes I do have, but is I usually catch it once I after I done it, and I'm like, okay, well I forgot to add this part or do this part. And I did have a fail on a memorial bench that I just did the other day, and that's because I overpressed it. I let it press for too long. So like, and I think the wood is kind of old. The sublimation bench was over a year old, and I just read that you're supposed to use it within maybe 3 to 6 months.
can dry out the humidity in your house, dry it out.
Hmm.
The one thing I would tell people all the time too is that when you're pressing garments, the humidity in your house from summer to winter is totally different. So you almost want to do a first press just to actually remove the humidity, and and then do your press to actually apply.
And I do that every time. I don't care what time of year it is. If I'm
Yeah.
pressing on garments, my first press is usually about 30 seconds to
Yep.
pull the humidity out of the garment. And then I'll lay my graphics on and everything and do the actual press.
Yeah, I do
Yeah, I
28
do
to
that.
28 to 32 seconds the first press. Yeah. So the Hytronics press, which is just outrageous. You can set it to like program so that it knows the first one auto open just for the pre-press, and then the second one is actually your regular press. You can even do a third press afterwards after you peel it.
See, there
Clax-
you go.
Oh, yeah. So I told you if we mention Clack's name 3 times, just like Beetlejuice, he'd pop up here. Clack, I'm accusing you of gobbling up all the orange filament from every market there is.
Are you trying to summons me? That's hilarious. Yeah. I did jump in Clax. I missed the last couple weeks. This Sunday I jumped in for a little bit on his video, but on his live. Let's see here. Anyone got any questions? Let us know. Let us know, of course. Otherwise, happy hump day, everyone. I actually needed this. This has been a very stressful week for me at work. Like, man.
And Tim says Beetlejuice is here, so we summoned him.
Jack in the Shop said, I really like most Adobe software. I do not like Premiere.
See, this is my frustration because I like Adobe software too, but I'm not gonna pay $100 a month for it forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I pay $85 a month. It's like,
Yeah, that's the other problem is the Spectrum Reality is saying Adobe makes you save everything in the cloud. I don't like that.
I save everything locally. You have the option to upload to the cloud. I don't use the cloud at all.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me so much. Maybe because my last job was building cloud applications, or the cloud infrastructure.
So here's my thing. I don't want to put anything in the cloud, but I'm going to take the video, upload it to YouTube.
Yeah. Well, it's just so the bad news is everything's in the cloud now, right? So
yeah,
like anytime you go to a website and you create an account, you're in the cloud.
Yes. Yeah. Jack in the Black said, I do not want to save to the cloud. You don't have to. You can.
Yeah, for most applications, you don't have to.
Right. Yeah, Adobe definitely is. It's definitely expensive.
Yeah, so the interesting move. So Apple bought Pixelmator, which was an Apple application in the App Store. They bought that, and that's one of those things they've rolled into this creator workspace thing.
Yeah,
and it's does a lot of things that Photoshop does. I mean, it's still not Photoshop, but it does a lot of things that most people would use.
Now, Chris is saying I avoid subscription software when possible. I call my files local. my one subscription to software is I do subscribe to Microsoft 365, but I still say my file local.
See, I used to have a Microsoft subscription for Office, and now I just use Google. You create a Google email address, and you've got the whole Google suite
Docs.
at your disposal,
Yep.
right? It's free and it works really well. So
yeah. So I was always the guy who I hated it and dreaded it. I'd walk in Best Buy and I'd buy the new Photoshop, and I've had it for 7 or 8 years, and they come out new version. 7 years later, I'd buy a new one, and I was okay with that. But it just sucks. Like if they just, even if it was expensive, I would just drop the $1,500 and that's it. Because I don't have to have the newest version constantly.
My thing with Microsoft is I have 6 different email addresses, so I love running Outlook, and I use Excel to the extreme, and PowerPoint from time to time. So
yeah, I use Apple Mail, which comes with every Mac computer. I have all my mailboxes there, and I have many. I can't even count them.
So back in the day, I used Sony Vegas. I loved it.
Yeah, so I talked to a guy who was doing video editing, and this is what he was using.
Never even heard of that. Sony Vegas. What is that?
It's just another video editor.
Oh, it's a software. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim said Infinity Design and Infinity Pro Photo 2 are pretty good and expensive alternatives.
So Affinity Design is free now. Affinity got bought by Canva, and Canva made Affinity Design free.
Oh wow!
You can go download it.
I use Canva a lot. All our thumbprints, thumbnails, I have the Pro version. I think it's minimal. I can't remember what it costs, but it's
I use Kittle for that. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. And I use Photoscape X.
What do you use for Mia, for your thumbnails and all that? Do you use Canva or anything?
Canva.
Yeah.
Canva is definitely my go-to.
I'm soon going to start outsourcing a lot of this stuff, though. I just don't have capacity for it anymore.
I keep getting these calls. Do you want to hire an assistant from the Philippines? And I was like, what? And they're like, it's $3 an hour, 40 hours a week.
And it's some 12-year-old who they're going to beat
like,
if you don't hire them.
I was like, are you serious? But yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking to Fohammer. He was on here, and he does his editing. He hired a guy full time actually from the Philippines.
Yeah,
and he said he does all his video editing for fraction of the amount of time revenue he would lose if he had to do it himself. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So Mia, where did you start out with learning how to design in 3D? Did you start out with Tinkercad or?
Just Tinkercad, and then I started realizing a lot of stuff you can actually just do in Bamboo Lab.
Yeah. I was going to actually ask you, Roger, specifically because you use Bamboo Lab a lot. How much design you actually do in Bamboo Studio versus somewhere else?
Actually, and some people might think this is crazy stupid. I do a lot of my designs in Lightburn. Then, because I'm so familiar with it, then export that SVG into Tinkercad and turn it into a 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself doing more editing type work in Bamboo Studio now for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Only thing that I'm still trying to learn or figure out is how to actually turn images into.
I didn't hear you.
I was saying the thing that I'm trying to learn how to do is actually turn images into 3D models, like 2 dimensions to 3D.
Oh, well, you can't do it in Bamboo Studio.
AI.
But that's an AI thing.
Yeah, but I did see though. I haven't tried it, but I did see in the Bamboo Studio software they have a new AI thing where you can create the 3D images of someone now from a single image to a 3D image.
Do that because by using Maker's World Lab, and that they was converted a picture of somebody's dog into a 3D in the Maker Lab. So I said I need to go try that.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. Spectrum of Reality said, doesn't YouTube have their own editing software? Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, well, they do.
Yeah, they do. It's pretty primitive.
It's usually if you say something in a video and if it's a manufacturer and they say, hey, don't say that, then you can go and edit that little piece out of your video.
Yeah.
Or in Roger's case, when somebody says the picture of his house is actually a copyright violation, he can just go edit his house out of the video.
Yeah, I'd made a Harley video and I was riding my bike. I passed the car and for like glimpse of a second, somebody's car radio was on. They got a violation for that. So I just deleted it, like with their editing software, and kept the video online. But
really? You got a violation for that? If it's less than 8 seconds, they won't normally bother you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they'll pick it up sometime.
They might pick it up, but you don't. They really can't do much.
The option. They basically smack you on the hand, and say, "What do you want to do?" Right, and then if you choose to just delete it, they kind of just leave you alone. Right.
I did one last year. I was at a fair, and I was interviewing people that had different vendors in their craft shows, and there was music playing in the background from the Ferris wheel or whatever. Even though I was doing a talk over, I got flagged on it. Yeah. I had to go back into DaVinci and edit the music out.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we talked about it, I actually went to Bamboo Lab and I went to Maker. Oh, maybe I should have canceled this. I didn't know it had credit. But I just went on there and looked, and they do have app now where you can do.
Yeah, but
it's something in Maker World.
Yeah, but you have to do it on the computer. It's not on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that you got to use credit. That's what I don't like. You get
check that out. Kittleville or whatever how you say this is very lightweight. It will run on anything.
Santa says,
okay. Santa's saying, what do you guys think about the talk about House Bill 2321 on 3D printers? If you don't know what this is, they're trying to prohibit people from printing 3D printed guns. So I don't know how they would ever enforce that. That's just.
I'm surprised this thing.
Well, you know what the next step in that is, though, right? Is to ban consumer 3D printers.
Yeah.
So here's my take on it. Here's my take on this. If you take every gun manufacturer in the United States and you add up their sales, it still doesn't add up to Disney. So you shouldn't allow 3D printers to print guns. Guess what that did? It allowed you to have with a clear conscience say that's probably a good decision, right? To take phantom guns off in Chicago, that was a big issue. That's probably a good decision. Maybe that as a parent you can agree with that to some extent, right? And the people that allow that to pass, to me, has nothing to do with guns. What you did is you allowed them to put a monitoring, a filter, a firewall on your piece of equipment that's going to monitor from there on anything you print. So guess what? You go to Maker's World. I think it's so funny. You go to Maker's World. You go to any of these 3D print stuff. And these people who create this artwork, it's all watermarked. Like, don't steal my artwork. Like, dude, it's Nike. What do you mean don't steal your artwork? Don't steal your stolen artwork? Like, but then what's going to happen is you go to print the Chicago Bears logo. You go to print a Nike's logo. It's either going to tell you one of two things. It's going to say, one, you can't print this. Or two, it's going to say, pay this $35 license fee and you can print it. And that is going to be, that's going to make so much money. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is.
Yeah, it really has nothing to do with printing guns, right? I mean, in Chicago, if you want a gun, you could probably get one. You don't have to wait to print one. You could probably get a real one faster than you could print one.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that they're talking about while we're on the subject, you got let's say you got an AR-15, a semi-automatic. You want to make it fully auto? You can go online. You can buy the parts for it, make it fully auto.
Yep.
You want a silencer for it? Yeah, those aren't illegal, but yeah, you can buy one.
And you can buy maker's kits. You can build a complete gun with 0 serial numbers.
Yeah.
And it's not illegal. So I get, as a parent, I get it. As someone who lives in Chicago and area, like hit in our backyard, so to speak, where these phantom guns were an issue, I get it. As a kid who grew up in a neighborhood, who was involved in gangs as a kid, and was part of that problem, if we could take guns out of kids' hands and save lives, I agree with it. But I don't think it has anything to do with it, because they said there was 197,000 guns, phantom guns reported, right? And that's why they're saying that this should be reported. But a phantom gun is not a 3D printed gun. A phantom gun is any gun by law that cannot be identified. So that means the serial number has been removed. That means it's a Home Depot special that they made. That means it's a home built gun. These cops, excuse me, don't mean to be offensive, clack, they're not trained professionals. They're not gunsmiths, and nor do they care to be a gunsmith. If they pull some 16-year-old kid with a gun in the back of his pocket, and it's homemade or a serial number scratched off, phantom gun. That's it. And at the end of the day, like, they're just doing their job and taking guns off the street. But that kind of dilutes the idea of 3D printed. It's not just because it's declared a phantom gun doesn't make it a 3D printed gun. It's a modified gun or a built gun or, a defaced gun.
Yeah, the other thing too with the 3D printed guns, at least to this point, it's a one shot only. I mean, they're not semi-auto or anything. It's a one shot. You're done.
Right. So most of the guns that I've seen that were 3D printed, it's the lowers, springs, and the uppers. Everything else is metal. So you can go buy that from anywhere. So they're taking a gun that's, a Glock, a 9, a gun that's a $350, $500 gun, and they're building it for under $100, and that gun will fire away with a switch. So I get it. In the wrong hands, they can be very, very dangerous. But I just think that's not the intention.
It's the wrong argument, right? Because a car in the wrong hands can be a deadly weapon too, right? So, like, what are you going to do? Like, and they are all licensed. So what problem are you going to solve, right?
Right.
So to address the question about what do I think of the talk about the House bill, is my personal opinion, and we don't generally talk politics on here, is I think it's bogus, because they're going to try to start regulating everything you print.
I think they're doing is they're just trying to convince you it's a great idea. They're misscrewing the facts on the amount of 3D printed guns, and that's just a gateway to allow them to have licenses. It has nothing to do with the guns.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, if they're trying to have people stop killing people, doing this isn't going to do anything, right? Because people are going to find a way.
We just sat there and said that a 3D printer is about the slowest way you can make money. Period. I'm not saying you can't make money, but it's definitely the slowest way.
If you're some gangster and you want to go rob a bank, it's like, come on, hurry up and print. I got to get there before 5. I'm gonna come back in
27 hours and get you, bro. Trust me, I'm gonna get you.
It's the same thing. If you want to build a pipe bomb, pipe bombs are illegal. You get on the dark web, you can find all kinds of places to show you how to make pipe bombs.
Yeah, from Home Depot, with everything in there.
Yeah.
So before we get flagged,
it's probably too late.
Just know that we're all parents, right? And we understand and concern, and we are concerned citizens and responsible citizens. And there's nothing wrong with owning a gun. Everyone should have the right to own, bear arms. And I understand people concerns about guns and children, and I understand the legitimate concerns about people illegally printing anything. But I wholeheartedly believe it has nothing to do with that. It's really just a license issue. And it boils down to, like I said, at every single gun manufacturer in the entire United States, and they still don't make as much as Disney. So Disney, Nike, all these people, go to Makersville. Just type in Chicago Bears. See how many things you can download with Chicago Bears. You don't think how much money they're losing because of that? Come on, man. Think about it. All right, new subject before we get I sound like a pastor over here on the Baptist sermon.
Spectrum of Reality says, been thinking about picking up one of these new Mac Minis. I'll never buy another Windows machine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I thought the platform wars were over, but having said that, I have, I don't know, 5 Mac computers in my network here. And I have one of those little $200 mini PCs for running. It's actually I bought it for the Pro Color DTF printer when I reviewed it because there was no Windows software at the time, and it had to be pretty close proximity to the printer. So I have one Windows machine.
There you go. Got a question for you, Steve.
Harold says, Steve, what kind of beamer uses a freaking Mac? Well, me, Rick.
Well,
Do you have a Mac or do you have a Windows machine?
I have a Mac.
Well, we have, of course, with the business and everything, we have 14 computers, and they're all Windows.
So this little computer that's behind me, this is like a $200 or $300 Best Buy special. Yeah. Whatever it was like the cheapest brand new laptop you can buy at Best Buy. That's what runs the lasers. And then for all my editing, things like that, I use the MacBook Pro.
Yeah, a lot of people think you need a high-end laptop or whatever to run a laser. You don't.
No. Lightburn.
I literally went and said, "What is the cheapest laptop you have?" Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that runs Lightburn, right? So it doesn't. So any Windows machine, any Mac machine. It used to be any Linux machine, but they dropped Linux support.
So Mia, what do you use for computers? You're on the Mac or the Windows platform?
2 Windows. I have an
Windows
iPhone gaming PC, and I have a HP laptop that I use on the other side to run some of my printers. And yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Okay. Now, what about the cell phone department? Are you an Apple or a Android person?
I used to be team Android for the longest. You couldn't convince me to get an iPhone at all until I ended up getting my business in 2021, and I'm like, okay, everybody got an iPhone. I hadn't even a business phone, so I said, okay, well, I have an Android. I'm gonna go ahead and try the Apple. Then I ended up upgrading a year later, so to both Apple.
I had a long string of Apple phones, and one of them decided it was gonna brick itself. So I took it into Apple, and they wouldn't replace it. And I got pissed off, and I literally went out of the Apple store to a kiosk in the mall, and I bought an Android phone. Well, I had that Android phone for about 4 months and bought another Apple. Well, actually, so there were 2 Apple stores where I was living, and I took it to the other Apple store and said, this phone is bricked. It doesn't work. And the guy went, let's just, and they always do that. Oh, let's just update the thing. Okay, go ahead. I've done this a million times. It doesn't work. And then he goes, oh, there's something wrong with it. And he said, and he they carry their little tablets with them, and he starts typing away, and he goes, we'll get you a new one. And it was the most subtle thing in the Apple store, right? This guy comes out of the back and literally brushes him from behind, and he puts his hand back and goes, here's your new phone. It's like, whoa, this is so. But yeah, I had an Android phone for about 4 months, and I went, like, why do people use these things? I know they're cheaper.
Because it was so much easier. Like, I'm like, iPhone's too confusing. I'm like, anybody got time for that? And I just love my Android. And to me, I'm not gonna lie, Android had better cameras. The only thing is when it comes to uploading it on social media, the social medias be messing with Android phones. So it makes the quality look worse, but actually they have better cameras.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, iPhone still doesn't do 8K. This is a 17 Pro. It still don't do 8K. Android's been doing 8K 7 years ago.
It's a sad statement when we measure our cell phone by how good the camera is, and nobody even talks about the phone anymore.
I got my Samsung S25, and it's Android, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah,
iPhone 16 Pro with my custom case.
I got the Beats case and the 17 Pro Max. Yeah.
I haven't got the 17 Pro, but I think I'm gonna end up updating my business phone because I had a little free upgrade every year anyway. I don't know why I haven't upgraded. I guess because I ain't want to pay the taxes on it yet. So
I, I
but this one it doesn't charge. So the only way I can
yep.
charge it
That's
is wireless.
that's
That's
why
it.
I got it. Cause I got tired of doing this jiggle, 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 or have to use
No.
wireless.
You
Blow it out.
just have to get a vacuum and clean the belly button lint out of the bottom of it.
Tony said hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Tony, thanks for joining live. A loyal
Tony.
subscriber. Thank you, Tony. Chris said Windows has a blue screen of death. 3D printers have the blob of death.
Yeah, I have and Steve was talking about that earlier. I've got one of my bamboo A1s that had the blob of death on it. Ended up having to replace the entire extruder. It got so bad.
Yeah. Well, next week I'll make an effort to bring that blob that I have. It's still sitting in my shop. I mean, this thing has weight to it. It weighs about half a pound.
Yeah.
And it was literally encapsulating both hot ends on the H2D. It was
That's
like this
insane.
black gray blob that.
What were you printing?
One of these cases actually.
Man.
And it failed about halfway through. Actually, it printed the bottom layer, and then one of the there's four pedestals on the bottom, and one of them let go, and it actually got sucked up into the up around the hot end and inside the extruder for some reason, and then it just built up from there.
So speaking of sublimation printing, Mia and Roger, I got the Epson 570 because I thought DTF was just too complicated for my wife, and I thought the sublimation prints would be a lot easier for her. But the one thing that she hated was that the Epson 570s, since it's not a modified, it is a sublimation printer directly from Epson. The RIP software is licensed, and it can only be installed on one computer, and you can't print to that printer without the RIP software. So it's almost like that's a dedicated computer. So I brought this little one down here. He's on the laser, and she's like, well, great. Now I can't print. Or I got to tell you to print for me.
What software? Wait, why are you using RIP software for that?
In order to print to that printer, it has a RIP software that actually print. It's just not like a normal printer where you hit file print from anything. You actually have to use their software.
Pro colors are like that too.
And I print from any of my computers.
Whereas I've got the 15,000s, and I converted them. Of course, they're not sublimation printers in the factory. I converted them both.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. The converted, you could literally open Word document and print from it, right? I mean, you just like a regular printer. But when you actually have the sublimation printer from Epson, it comes with the licensed RIP software. Like
I never
you can create gang sheets. It's like pretty cool, but it sucks that it's literally like tied to a computer. You can't have it.
Right. Because what I use, I do all my designing in Canva, and when I'm done with Canva, I download it to my computer and I use Epson print layout, and that's how I print it. Like
right. And like I said, a modified printer you could do that, but
I got the F570.
You do?
Yeah.
And you don't use the Epson software?
No, I just use Epson print layout. That's it.
See, I think they're changing, right? When I looked at the Pro Colored, it had RIP software, but they said they were getting rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought my F570 last year. I want to say it must have been around January because I just was looking at that.
Okay.
Stuff
maybe
expired.
they don't. Maybe when I bought it, because I've had it more than a year for sure. Maybe like 4 years.
It's the dumbest thing to do, though, right? Like if you have a Pro Color printer, great, but why do you have to lock your software to that? Because you already paid for the printer, and it's the printer that's the important thing there, right?
Right.
Well, way back when Cricut first came out with their die cutters, it would be assigned to a specific computer, and you couldn't switch off and use a different computer to do anything with that Cricut. But they changed that after a couple of years.
Yeah, well, people were just ripping them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to check that now because that has just been the heartburn of that printer. It prints phenomenal.
Try to download Epson print layout, and that's exactly what I use. And I just Like all my printers are actually past the Epson print layout because I
My
print.
UPS is just kicked on.
I use that one and I use my T5170 with print layout. Now I print, like I said, I design everything in Canva. I download everything from Canva. Or you can download it from whatever software you use. Download it and upload it to Epson print layout, and that's literally how I print all my documents. And I can use
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna
Just
check it out then. It might have been because that software, if you're gonna buy it, I think that software is like
it was
1,700
extra.
bucks.
Yeah, I think I think that. I think I seen something about
Yeah,
that when it first was about to bad, and I'm like, do I need this software? And I don't even
yeah,
know if mine came with the software or not, but I know I never downloaded any software for it.
yeah. So I'll check that out. But Jack said I use PLA as support for material for PET G. You know, Roger, you had said that
I
early
did.
on, and you
Yeah.
have nozzles designated for that.
I do that. I use PLA as support for PET-G, and PET-G as support for PLA.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't stick. It makes good support, but it doesn't stick. Doesn't leave any marks. It's just
Yeah.
perfect.
And when you Rick, when you print little Ricky a pair of shoes, you can use PLA for the supports on your TPU as well.
Yeah,
Works
so
for little.
I haven't played around. Is what is that in the global settings where you choose support and choose the sign, or where do you
In the settings for the filament, it's like the fourth tab over. Oh, hang on, I got bamboo here.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that out since Roger said that.
If you let me open something here.
Santa said I'm still having good luck with a few rolls I have from Hobby Lobby. I've heard nothing bad about Hobby Lobby. The only thing I've heard is that it's almost instantly gone. I literally see people on Facebook saying it's here, and then 20 minutes later, somebody posting an empty shelf, and they're like, "Damn."
So it's in the support tab. And if you go down to the section that says filament for supports, it'll probably say both of them are default, and you can just change it to whatever spool you want on your AMS.
All right, I'll definitely have to check that out. Definitely have to check that out.
Oh, you got delayed again.
I opened up. I want to open up Adobe, and it costs it. I want to open up Adobe. I want to open up Adobe, and of course, it starts grabbing stuff. So it.
Oh, now you're back to normal again.
Yeah. Spectrum Reality said hard to distinguish. Okay, here we go. Roger, you want to take this?
Okay, on filament, is there any new types of filament coming on the market that are interesting? I saw an ad, I think it was yesterday when I was playing around with a computer down there. They have some new wood-looking filament that is like mostly wood. And I think it's going to be interesting to try. But for you that out there that have never printed with wood filament anymore, is highly abrasive. Do not try to use a brass nozzle. Need a hard steel nozzle for wood filament.
Yeah, the short answer to this question is yes. There's always a lot of the engineering filaments are starting to get pushed down into the home market. So you've got things like Peak and Peep and Peck. There's just millions of these things, right? And they're all for specific things. You can, if you have a printer that can do it, you can even get PEI. The plastic that's on your build plate. You can actually get a roll of that filament and print it, but you need a hot end that can go to like 700 Celsius. But it's out there, and it's about a half kilogram of it is like $200 or something. It's expensive.
Somebody
making some
talking
funny
about the
noises.
wood one earlier. They were saying how the wood filament actually smells like wood and everything. I thought it was like a fake post, and then I seen other people coming like, yeah, it does. And you need a 0.6 nozzle and all of that type of stuff. I was like, that's interesting. Makes me want to kind of background.
It's got real wood in it.
So a good friend of ours, she makes a whole lot of fancy crosses, and I forget the name of the crosses she creates. It's like this woven cross,
Celtic cross.
but it's like it looks like it's kind of like a Celtic cross, but it's woven through it. I don't even know. I'd have to show it on Facebook.
Yeah, the one she put on Shop Talk Live here just lately was phenomenal.
Yeah, so I was thinking of cheating because she did that with a skill saw, and then sanded
and her fancy grinder thing, right?
Yeah, and then put it all back together. I was thinking about trying to cheat and just 3D print that and see how it looked in that wood filament.
Well, you can
like
get
a turd,
4 different kinds of wood filament on Bamboo Store.
It might just look like a turd, but I think I'm going to try it and just for shits and giggles, so to speak, see what she says.
Yeah, Chris says using a laser in a 3D printer is like using mortar oil and scrambled eggs. Yeah, it's just, to me, that just don't mix.
Spectrum Reality said Mia has a lot of reverb. Sorry, Mike.
Hi from not so warm Florida. Yeah, I know it's a little chilly down there. I talked to my son. He lives down around Ocala, and it's a little chilly down there.
I like when people say
it was like 2 weeks ago. I saw a posting, and it was when you cross the state line into Florida, you got the welcome to Florida sign, and there was just like snow crazy. Like, and at that point I was still looking at green grass on my lawn. So
of course, down here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico today, it's I think our high today was 74, and the locals are in hoodies and sweatshirts, and of course us Illinoisans are running around with no shirt on and jumping in the pool. And
so VE3IOU, that almost sounds like a shortwave handle. Supporting Silver Fox, that's me if you don't know. Another Canadian in the room. Great. Where are you from?
So I love it that there's inside jokes that you will only know if you're a regular. And as Roger, Steve, and I have got to know each other, we poke the beehive at each other at times because we're friends enough that we can make fun of each other. And that's one of the things I started calling Steve the Silver Fox.
I cried myself to sleep every night.
Yeah,
but
that is OnlyFans channel.
Oh yeah, my OnlyFans channel. That's a
it's stuck.
Closely guarded secret.
So I like it that when someone calls Steve the Silver Fox, because I know that they're loyal watchers.
It doesn't offend me because hey, it's true.
So Tim's asking, when doing some 3D printer research, I see something out there called an AMS riser. Anyone make or use one? Yes, I have. On 4 of my printers, I have an AMS riser above the top of them. But I have not made the riser for my HUC yet, because I have 2 AMSs and what's the other XD. So I've got to figure out how to design something to mount all that crap on top.
Yeah. So there's a design on Makerspace. It holds 2 AMS HT, and then the AMS Pro, and then on top of it's the same exact thing. And I saw 2 models in particular I liked. One where you can actually pull it forward, and I liked the idea of it, but I didn't like the fact because then you got to leave the tube longer. And I think the shorter you can leave that tube, the better you're off, especially because when it comes for that back, it makes that bend. I almost think it's also better if the AMS Pro's on the left and I have it on the right, just because the way that the bend radius is. So I think that I would rather not have the pull out, even though I think it's cool. I just think I'd rather have it taller so that you can lift the lid.
Yeah, that's what I had to do on the reason I have a second design for Bamboo printers is because on the first one I had this AMS stacked.
Right.
And in order to be able to open the lid on the bottom one, I had to have a it's like just drawer rails, right? And to push the top one back so you can open the lid. So when I did the second one, I realized it only has to be like 4 inches wider than to get the second AMS on. So I just put the AMS side by side.
I'm working on a design to do that on the HUC.
Yeah.
Do you want my design? It's a full cabinet. It's got drawers in the bottom and everything.
No, I'm not going to quite that far. Just
Oh, well, you
get it
got a
off
saw
above.
stop, so you can make stuff.
Yeah.
ABT Marketing. So hello. Thanks for joining. No, I did not read the name wrong. I just know the real name before they changed the handle. This is a loyal subscriber.
ETB.
Yeah. How's everyone going? Thanks for joining. Better late than never, as they say. Let us know if you have any questions. Somebody want to take this?
Is there anyone
Yeah,
Sunliu does not make filament for? Probably.
they are the biggest manufacturer in China of filament. And I watched a video a while back, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was trying to like mosey out the brand names on other. But if you want,
the guy from Israel, the next layer guy.
yeah, next layer. If you freeze the frames, you can see Bamboo's name on the cases
I'm gonna
there.
have to check that out. You mentioned that a couple times. I have to check that out.
Yeah.
Find it. Spectrum Reality said they make glow in the dark paint too.
Just in case little Ricky wants to paint messages all over his wall.
Rogers asking, where are my B1 leg extensions sold? They're sold on my website called, can I advertise this?
Of course.
Moonshinecrafts.com.
Of course, now you owe us all $1.
Yeah.
No. We'll post it in the Facebook group too and pin it. So those who've made it this far in the live, if you're not already a member, I highly suggest that you join our Facebook group. I'm saying this only because I want to make sure that you're aware. It is Shop Talk Live's Facebook group. It is not my Facebook group. It is not Roger's Facebook group. It is not Steve's Facebook group. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because you all know that we all are in the makerspace. We all make stuff to sell. We are influencers. So since it's not direct regards to Shop Talk Lives, you can very well, if you are an influencer, post your social media content on there. If you are a maker, you can very well post all your information, all your things you're selling. We buy often from each other. So post.
Yeah, we are not in competition with each other by any means.
Yeah.
No.
I don't like the term influencer.
Yeah.
I don't think of myself as an influencer. I do tons of reviews, but it's like, here's the things you need to know. If you want to buy one, there's a link down there. But if you don't, well, or you want to buy it from somebody else, go ahead. It's like, I don't want to be the coercive person. I'm just a YouTuber.
You are, though. Whether you want to own it or not.
Well, I coerced you and maybe Tim, but
I could turn the camera on a couple times and pretty say you are a bad influencer. But just so shoptalklive.club, it's not a website. It's just an auto forward to our Facebook group, so we don't have this big long URL. That's all. So check it out if you're not already a member. Please do join. We can get back to the comments here. But yeah.
See, I might have swayed you, but you didn't use any affiliate link from me, so it was,
Were you Onefinity?
No, I don't have any Onefinity affiliates. Yeah. It's just a nice CNC.
Let's see, where are we at?
You were there, and then we saw this one.
Yeah,
and we saw that one. And then somebody said Mia has reverb. And we saw the leg extension one, and there we are. We're back.
Yeah, my B1 leg extension, moonshinecrafts.com.
Do you sell moonshine too?
No, they kind of frown on that. I will actually, I'll put that in the comments here.
The copper tubing's too expensive.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for long legs, Roger's your man.
So I've been testing this Alien Cell X1. It's a nice laser, actually.
How many watt is it?
I have two modules. I have the 40 and the 60. They also have a
Nice.
20.
So I'm interested in the 60. What have you been doing with that?
It's still in the box.
Okay.
But I mean, this thing looks very polished. Like if I was tossing around buying an S1, like an X-Tool S1 or this, I would buy this. For one thing, the bed is huge. It's like 480 millimeters wide and 300 and some millimeters deep. So it's quite a bit bigger than most regular diode lasers. It's heavy.
Now,
This thing is heavy.
also, Agri Store 8438 is saying, hey, Roger, sorry to hear about your wife. Thank you. And if you've been a viewer on here before and you've seen when we had Skylar on here, she made an absolutely beautiful memorial box for her ashes. I mean, just gorgeous. And I couldn't thank her enough for it.
That's awesome. Chris said bad filament tends to come in batches. That's why, honestly, I'm going to give Micro Center the benefit of the doubt. And I kind of thought that, like, if they sold crappy filament and it was just crappy filament, I just can't see them having a quarter of a store just rows and rows and rows. I mean, I guess you could, but
are they making the filament?
I don't know.
Because it's possible, like they had they were making a roll of red and they had a bunch of scraps from like their recycling, and they had a bunch of scraps that were PLA and some that were PET G or something, and
well, that'd be a great combination.
And they mixed them. Yeah, they don't want to be together to start with, right?
Like. That's literally what it looks like. It's not like adhering to itself.
Yeah, but it's possible that
it's literally falling all over my keyboard.
If they're using recycled part recycling, or they're getting the recycled pellets from somebody else, maybe the
it's not
filament kind of mix. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll be back. I was going to leave a review, but I'm not going to do a review until I at least reach out to them and see what they have to say. Give them a chance to defend themselves.
So Spectrum Reality is saying, what makes it bad? Moisture, air bubbles. Moisture is really bad in any filament. You will get bubbles and pops in your print.
Well, it'll look all lumpy too.
Yeah.
When it comes out of the hot end, it looks like it was deep fried.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, for those that don't know, is that as it goes through the extruder, any moisture that's in the filament will flash to steam, and it will pop.
San Jose Grade said there's no telling where the filament was before you got it, or how long it's been sitting since manufactured. Yeah,
it could be any of these, right? Like old filament, just kind of breaks down after a while, it seems. And I think this orange roll that I had to throw away, I think that was the case for that. It was old.
Yeah, as Chris said, yes, and I now I always dry even brand new filaments before I use. I've definitely gotten the habit of doing that. So
yeah, I do too.
And you know what the thing is, I didn't realize how low it could be until I asked Roger and Steve. Actually, during the live, I said, what's your what are you at? And they're like 0, and I'm like 0.
Yeah.
So since
when mine gets to about 7 or 8%, that's usually an indicator that I need to cook the desiccant again.
Yep.
And you absolutely need to keep it between under 10%.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're up, Steve.
Reddy says, I found out why Steve doesn't do cups. Canada hasn't even seen the cup since 1993.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we send all of our Canadians down south to skate with Europeans to
with the Blackhawks
hockey cups. See, I used to say Toronto Maple Leafs are fairly popular in Canada. I think Tim is a Maple Leafs fan. And I used to have a boss who loved them, and I saw he had a Maple Leafs logo on his office door one day. I walked in there and I said, "What's this?" He said, "Toronto Maple Leafs, best hockey team in the world." I said, "Oh, I only watch playoff hockey. I didn't know Toronto had a team."
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He threatened to fire me.
Spectrum Reality said Microsoft is horrible too. They also make you save everything in the cloud.
Yeah, that's just how things are these days.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but
Spectrum has said, I will never buy or use anything Microsoft or Microsoft again. Yeah, unfortunately, they are definitely a beast when it comes to the software. So staying away from Microsoft.
They're a lot nicer than they used to be back in the early days of the Windows wars, though.
Yeah.
And there is a way around having to keep everything in the cloud. I know the way. I do it all the time. I don't want all my stuff in the cloud. I have servers. That's what they're for.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
You want to take this, Mia?
I do the same a lot. Make my SVGs in Lightburn and bring them into Vectric or Fusion. I use SVG, the little free app. SVG converter free.
Yeah, I work almost exclusively with SVGs as 2D files because everything supports them, right?
Yeah, but you're seeing that, there's the Lightburn is almost like, because of the laser, you're so comfortable in it, just makes it easier to create.
Yeah, but Lightburn uses SVGs too.
Yeah.
No, I don't do a lot of design in Lightburn because I don't do a lot with Lightburn anymore, but I don't do a lot of design in Lightburn because I take designs and I might send them to a laser. I might send them to a CNC or UV printer now. So I don't want to lock myself into anything. And I know Clack or somebody's going to say, well, you can export SVG files from Lightburn. Yeah, you can. They don't always work, but they're pretty good.
I do it all the time. And when I do anything with my CNCs, and I don't do a lot of it, I do use Lightburn a lot of times for the design, and then export it out and then into whatever CNC software the day happens to be, and process it from there.
Using Lightburn as an SVG editor is a bit like using a wrench for a hammer. And now I know you electrical guys are perfectly normal, but
that was
we have
to say to us.
As Rick will say, we got a pair of nines. That pair of nines is a hammer, it's a screwdriver, it's everything.
Rick's gone off to get his.
Sometimes I try to use Canva to make my SVG, but Canva get the actual.
Yep. Pair of nines. There you go.
I think I have a pair of those somewhere.
This is $10,000.
Is it? Well, I don't have a pair like that. I probably have the knockoffs.
No, this reason this is $10,000. These are for a fallen lineman. So if you die and your wife needs the money, she can turn these in.
That's right.
If you don't need it, you don't take it.
Yikes. It's kind of a grim way to cash in a pair of pliers.
And I'm not a lineman, but I have a pair of those.
Yeah, they have an American flag. And
I also have a pair of the regular orange hammer ones, but
I think I have a $6 pair that look just like those ones Rick showed me.
People were sad was
down for 10,000, or they just worth 10,000.
No, it's like a grant. Like, so you turn them in, and they'll literally mail your wife a check. Yeah, so when you're buying it, you're actually, I think it was basically non-for-profit. I don't think Klein took any of the money. It all went into like a slush fund.
Right, it did.
And then if I died in the field, my wife needed the money, she could turn these in, and they'd send her the money.
So really, someone should just break into your house and steal your pliers.
You know what was sad is that they sold out pretty quick. And I think they came out a second or third time. And people were buying them and selling them on eBay for like outrageous amounts of money. I'm like, dude, you're missing the whole point. Like,
yeah.
And then
that's like selling war medals, right?
Yeah. And then someone saw me using them at work, and they were like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you should be hanging that on the wall. I'm like, what? Nah, man. Are you serious? Like, you know what this stands for? Like, I know exactly what it stands for. That's why it should be on a wall. I'm like, no, that's why it should be used.
So I flipped to the next question while you were looking for those. Zentenro asked an interesting question here. It's like, do you guys think it's better to build a product and then find customers, or find a demographic of customers and then make what they need?
I go with the second part for the most part.
Usually, yeah.
So I think both. So I think you should always go the second route. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with fishing.
Well,
I don't think you should make 10,000 of something.
This is a question of, do you sell volume or do you sell custom? right? If you sell volume, you're going to make stuff and take it to markets and try and sell it, right? You don't know all those people, so you don't know what they need.
Yeah, so,
I'm in the second camp because I don't do high volume stuff. So I tend to wait for a customer to say, I got a problem. And I go, I know how to fix that right here. I'll do a solution for you. So I think a lot of this depends on what your sales model is.
I've been on both ends of the spectrum here. Of course, I started out with my big coaster business, Steve of Horrors, but with my stolen from coasters. But we've had other viewers on our podcast here that have also done well with it.
Jim makes a lot of coasters.
Yeah.
I've made coasters, but it's usually something I add in for some customer who's spending, tons of money.
Here's my opinion. Here's my opinion. I think you should definitely make something. We always say find your niche, sell for the market, and I think it's okay to fish, to make something to see if it sells, but I think you shouldn't make 10,000 of something like with a 3D printer, and then wishfully think it's going to sell.
No,
right. But we also talk about trade shows, and there could be trade shows that are in certain areas. You're going to have that niche market, so maybe you'd make a ton of that particular thing because I'm going to Elgin and it's near a casino, and I'm going to make something like poker chips that might sell. I'm making something up, by the way.
Yeah.
But then when I'm back home, that might not sell. So you'd have your home territory, and then if you're going in somebody else's area, you could have your niche markets. But I don't think you should make a lot of anything and just wishfully think it's going to sell. But I think it's okay to fish to see if I make this, will it sell? Because everybody knows that I outsold Roger in birdhouse building, and that's why he makes fun of me.
I think that's kind of the other way around.
so
actually, I was going to bring that up about birdhouses because I still make them and I still sell them.
So I tried and nothing. It took like a year on Facebook to sell. When it finally sold, they brought it up. But so that was the point of that comment.
So my namesake says, "Good evening from Niagara Falls." He doesn't say if it's Niagara Falls, New York, or Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. If it's on the Canadian side, I used to live in Niagara Falls as a kid on the corner of Victoria and Ontario Avenue.
Nice.
Right across from the police station. Although there wasn't a police station there when I lived there. They were just building it when I left.
I've been saying I want to go back to Niagara just to go. I don't even know the name of the restaurant, but they have some really good hot wings. And I was so mad because I really didn't get none the first day when we went because I wasn't really hungry. And then when I finally tasted one, I'm like, oh, these are so good. So the next day, I think I tried to go get some before we left, but I don't think they were open on that day. And I was so mad. I'm like, I need to go back and go get those chicken wings.
Ricky and I had a blast on that 3-story go-kart track. That was nuts. That was nuts.
Get that one yet.
That was nuts. Want to take it, Steve?
Geez, I'm taking all of these now.
I've been reading them all, so I'm just.
This is I guess related to the 3D printer act that's happening.
Yeah.
Spectrum of Reality says, how will they enforce it? They are enforcing it through the software, and they will use client-side scanning, just like they're doing for everything else. Yeah.
So.
And how they bypass encryption. It's just like they don't have to do anything to you or your printer, right? They just go back to the manufacturer who's in the cloud and say, what's this person's account downloading and printing? Right?
Yeah. So the other thing is that what I think is like Bamboo, who has already that type of client already in place, they're the ones who are going to be able to be compliant, right? Because they already have that built. They're just going to have new policies enforced, right? So these other 3D printers, maybe the entry-level printers who don't have this.
Yeah. The big problem here is if I'm mechanically inclined, I can make my own 3D printer from parts, right? And no one will even know I have that, right? This is I make my own weapon, right? And no one knows I have it. and there's just all this is going to do is drive manufacture and sale of illegal 3D printers, so people can go and print their illegal weapons. Right?
We all bought
Like
hot boxes back in the
such
day. They're going to be hot 3D printers.
it's such a stupid thing to try and do, right? Because
Yeah.
like I got enough parts sitting in my closet over here to make a 3D printer. And I mean, to make this, it doesn't have to be a bamboo quality. It just has to be something you can hold in your hand, right?
Yeah. Look at what Chris said here. Exactly what I said earlier. It starts with guns, then Disney, then Harley, then Jeep. Oh, I wonder where it'll end. The lobby for the bill. Exactly.
Well, by the same token, even with a bamboo printer, which, they can, if you are subscribed to the cloud, which I am not, I run in what they call developer mode and keep everything in LAN. They have no idea what I'm printing. They have no way to look at it. It's completely isolated.
Well, Trump said yesterday on TV that Americans don't need guns. So that's all I'm gonna say.
As the Canadian of the four, I'll just remain silent because it's not really an issue here.
Like, I have the right to remain silent. I will exercise that. Jack said you can 3D print lowers, exactly what I was saying, and use them over and over again. I 3D print it. I'll skip that, and buy about 80% lowers and mint the rest. No difference. It's not illegal, and you can build your own. Exactly what I just said. As long as it's just a lower. The parts, I don't even want to say it. Well, let's just say there's certain websites you can download it that are people that are right to bear arms people that make these files readily available for free.
You're not going to post that link down in the chat, are you?
Yeah, no.
And if you would happen to venture into the dark web, you can find anything.
Yeah, you don't even have to go that deep. I mean, it's readily available. Yeah. Spectrum Reality said there's a whole book out there you can download called Expedite Firearms for Home Machinists. Yeah. And I keep saying, like, when I was a kid, there was only one kid in my whole neighborhood who had a computer, right? And then I remember when even printers, not everyone had a printer. And then now everyone has a computer. Now everyone has laptops. Now everyone has a cell phone. And I remember people didn't have microwaves. Everyone had microwaves back in the day. That was, you got a microwave? You know what I mean? It's going to become like everyone has a 3D printer. It's just going to become the normal thing,
It's one of these things where the genie's out of the bottle, right? And like, you can't stop this now.
No, it's too late. It's too late.
And like I said, just, if they go to all the manufacturers, then you just make your own, right?
Yeah. Or there's going to be people modding them,
Yeah, well,
there's going to be modders.
But I mean, I've made 3 of my own, and like from nothing, and it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, but there'll be the guy who's like $50, bro, and I'll make it go offline, and you're good. You know what I mean? So like,
but there's still some traceability that it was purchased, right? So there will be a bloodline there they can follow. But if you make your own, it's just a bunch of parts, like stepper motor. What'd you use that stepper motor for? Like, how deep are they going to go, right? They don't. First of all, they don't have the manpower to regulate that kind of system, and it's not going to work. No,
it's just crazy. Yeah, that's definitely
one of those feel good bills, right? And you did something. Oh, we passed a bill that made it hard for people to do this. Yeah, but it didn't make it impossible.
So Chris is saying Mac or Windows is about the right tool for the job. Mac and Windows both have their strong points.
What's Windows' strong point?
I think
like I said, the platform wars are over, but
I just think Mac more efficiently uses RAM.
Maybe, but it's just, I don't know. I look at Windows machines like it's a computer. I look at a Mac like it's an appliance.
Yeah.
Like you plug a USB device into a Windows machine and it's going to say, where's the driver for this? You plug it into a Mac and it's going to go, oh, I found that. Okay, here you go.
Yeah. Santa's Living Great said, what's funny to me is you see several videos talking about the first 3D printer and then it's laser, then it's,
Yeah, it's just, pretty, well, I mean, I was going to say pretty soon they'll be going after your table saw, but they already did that.
Yeah, it's too late. The cat's out of the bag. Like, there's nothing they can do. I mean, they can. It's too late.
Yeah, like with a table saw, if you're in the UK, you can't have a dadu set.
Yeah.
You can't have what?
A dadu set on your table saw if you're in the UK, they're illegal.
Yeah.
For some reason. But didn't they outlaw a lot of drones too? Like wasn't the U.S. government harassing DJI for a lot of?
Oh yeah, they banned DJI's drones in the U.S.
We
because
passed
they
a
were
bunch of laws here around. You can't fly it within 5 kilometers or 2 miles of an airport or 4 miles of an airport. But you can still generally fly them. Big ones though, you have to get license for.
Well, where I live, I'm like a mile and a half from an international airport. I'm not allowed to fly a drone, even if it's only 6 feet above the ground.
Yeah. So looks we actually are right at time. There's a few comments here in the lives. I'm going to skim through real quick and see if there's anything maybe we think we should hit.
I think one that was asking me a question.
I like this one.
Yeah, every tool is a hammer, especially if you got a pair of 9s.
See, that's the kind of thing you want to put on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
There you go, Mia. There's a good one. Valentine's Day coming up. You can sell that for husbands. Everything's a hammer.
Yeah,
I seen one comment that says, Mia, you said this is your full-time job. How do you find your customers and what type of products are you selling? So I sell a lot of different products. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I do custom clothing. I do custom items, tumblers, memorial benches, buttons, print, stickers, cups. So most of my customers usually come off of Facebook, my Facebook friends list. A lot of people either come from referrals of other people asking, "Oh, who did this?" Or sometimes even when I'm out in public, if I see parents with their kids, I need to give me some business cards because I do go a lot of places with kids because I have a toddler. And sometimes when I see parents, I'll be like, "Oh, I customize kids' clothes for their birthdays. If you need any birthday outfits done, you can contact me here." And that's pretty much where I get my customers from word of mouth and from just like promoting myself maybe on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. So yeah.
So I found you.
Right.
So at the end of the day, every customer will bring you a customer. So if
word of mouth is one of the best things. That's probably 90% of my business in the craft side of everything.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, again, we're at time. So, Mia, thank you for joining us on live. It was good. I'd appreciate maybe we can do this again sometime.
Okay, I'm down to do it. I was like, after this, I was like, you make me want to start a podcast. And just be on.
You know, it's a little nerve wracking at first. You got to come out of your own shell, and you have to kind of interact with the customer, interact with our not customers.
Comment.
Yeah, and just kind of keep the conversation going. And sometimes it's we have to create the conversation. So
Right.
this is a live question and answer, so it's not scripted. We don't have any topic of discussion. But sometimes not everyone comes for questions. Some people just come because we call it Happy Hump Day. It's like you're stressed to decompress from work, and they just come from camaraderie or to make fun or poke bear or make fun of each other. And that's okay too.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for having me and breaking my podcast V.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to join us again.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
definitely will. Just let me know. Just send me a message, and I'll be here.
Well, Steve, is there anything you want to say on the closeout?
No, thanks for coming, Mia, and thanks for everyone else for showing up.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Of course, I'm in Mexico right now. Next week I'll be back in cold Illinois, but we'll be there.
February, winter's almost over.
And a reminder, we did just hit our 100th live last week, so this is officially 101 live question and answers, which is kind of cool because everyone says 101 Q1. Anyways, but yeah, and Roger is blessing one of our listeners with a laser when he comes back, so we'll make announcements of when that's going to happen. So that'll be coming up. Look forward to that. See you guys on the next live.
Be giving away a MechPal laser, so you want to tune in here in the next few weeks.
There you go.
I win it.
Talk to you guys.
Hey,
Have a good night. Bye.
Good.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks all.
see y'all next week.